5 stages of consensus. Do you want to start?
Sure. So this applies not only when we're creating a proposal, and we'll talk more in depth about creating a proposal a little bit further down, but also when it comes time to consider that proposal and come to full consensus around it. The first thing, obviously, to do is to identify what the issue is that you want to work on. Identify and clarify what the problem is. What are we trying to solve for? Does that make sense? And then next, to look for ideas, right? And be open, right? I mean, that can be a really collaborative process, and it can be just throwing stuff up on a wall until you all come to lots of different ideas that can then get melded together. And as you're doing that, you can look for proposals that will just emerge organically out of that, right? And if they don't, then you can work together to discuss, clarify, and amend your process until you get to a place where everybody feels comfortable and can work toward consensus. Now that sounds like it can take a long time, right? That sounds like a long process. Doesn't have to be. Absolutely doesn't have to be. Again, clarity of purpose, mission, vision, values. If everything is grounded in that, it's much, much easier for everybody to come to consensus around an idea. And of course, we're committed to doing that. We're going to commit to consensus. And then ongoing, as you're doing this process, you're continually testing for agreement, right? So that could be a straw poll, it could be just a general feeling, how's everybody feeling, right? But you're testing for consensus as you go. And that way it becomes easier then to clarify. Clarifying questions might come out and or amend the proposal or process so that everybody can come to it. Does that make sense?
So we'll repeat those 5 steps, and I'm going to use.
You mean I talked too much?
I'm going to use a silly analogy has come to me. So you probably use a process like this frequently. So step 1, what's the problem? I'm in the car with somebody. Google Maps says there's an accident near the place where we're trying to go. There's a problem with the traffic. Step 2, ideas. Are we in a hurry? Maybe we'll just sit in the traffic. Is there a different way to go? Maybe we shouldn't even go there at all. Let's go to a movie theater or whatever. So, we're looking for ideas. And the car load, step 3, we're looking for emerging proposals. Everyone in the car is like, you know what? We're not in a hurry. Let's just chat. Step 4, discuss, clarify, amend. So is everyone's cool? No one needs to go to the bathroom. We have something going on back there. And someone's like, you know what? It's freezing back here. I need some help with the air conditioner. So what would have been a problem for the person in the back seat who's too cold and doesn't want to wait an extra 15 minutes, now we're going to adjust the temperature.
I'm hungry, Mom.
Okay, I've got snacks. And step 5, test for agreement. So we're all good? We're good? And yeah, we're all good.
Someone back here said, is anyone opposed?
Yeah, so we don't usually say that. Yeah.
We assume consensus unless otherwise. And there's a reason for that, right? As soon as you say anybody opposed, then it becomes kind of a voting, an up or down vote. And it's much easier then to dismiss or miss a concern or a question that somebody might have, right? So we assume consensus unless otherwise told, right? If I've got a problem, I'm going to bring it forward and we're going to discuss it.
That's part of that. Step 4, the discussion process is, do we have any issues here? What are our issues? So ideally, in this process, when you get to step 5, you've taken the time to look for all of the possible concerns, and you've found a way to address them in some capacity.
And it assumes that the person who may object assumes that he or she will be heard.
Yes, that's about
Can you
shared.
restate that?
So
Repeat the question.
the comment was, sorry, could you repeat it? that assumes, the person with the objection assumes that they will be heard. That's an essential part of this process.
Amen. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that when we get to talking about creating a proposal.
So it seems to me one of the key things then in achieving consensus is that discussion step. And this is where different communication styles and power levels can become a problem. And after we did the course Beloved Conversations, we adopted for difficult decisions the mutual invitation model from Eric Law that was in that course, where we make sure that everyone has a chance and to speak, and it totally changed the board.
You may be bringing this up later, but in my experience, I facilitated consensus for many, many years, and with very large groups, and I would add a step 1.5, and that step 1.5 would apply to more difficult decisions, not small decisions, and that is what we call the cultural sharing. But it was a time when we would go around robin style and hear everyone's history related to the topic and where they were coming from culturally related to the topic. Because there's nothing like empathy and knowing why someone is making the point they're making to help you creatively problem solve and be more accommodating to everyone.
Amen.
Right, the context element really matters.
Yeah, absolutely. And that speaks to something that if you stick around, we're going to talk about in the second half of this session, or the next session, is what happens when we have conflict. How do we deal with that, right? And we're going to offer you some strategies on how to handle that conflict moment to diffuse the situation and make sure that all the voices are heard.